Well, hi there. We're going to talk for just a few minutes about you've dated your first party. Now you need to give your host your party packet. And what in the world do you tell her about this party to make it awesomely successful? Well, first of all, in your kit, you would have received 5 of these folders, okay? And these are folders to put the materials in that you're giving to your host. You want to give her probably 3 of the large catalogs and 3 of the sales flyers. This is what we have going right now. Oh, there we go. Pretty and pretty. Okay. 3 is plenty of each because we've got our online options now as well. So got a lot more online options than we did 26 years ago when I started selling Tupperware. I want to be sure that you watch the dates because we had no online options then. I'm just saying. But anyway, I digress. I want you to be sure that you watch your dates. Okay, this one is ending April 13th. And so if I was getting ready to have a party and it was going to be on April 12th or 13th, I probably would give her the next flyer or him the next flyer because you want to give the materials based on when you're closing the party, not based on when you're holding the party, because you're probably not going to run home after the party and put these in really fast, and that means it has to be in the computer by midnight that day. So you want to give yourself a couple of days. You want to give your host 2 or 3 days to finish up her orders or his orders and get them in the system. Then I will even keep parties open for up to 5 days, no more than a week. But you want to give them a few days to kind of finish everything. The other important thing to know is that there's 2 dates on every flyer, not just one. And if you open it up, you're going to see that this part of this flyer ends March 30th, even though the rest of it ends April 13th, and you're going to see it's perforated. So I would tear that part off if I was maybe doing the party April 1st. I'd tear that part off before I gave it to her. There is a way that she can use her online link if anybody wants to shop out of a flyer that won't be good the day of her party. Check with myself or your recruiter or your manager about that. So 3 catalogs, 3 flyers. You also want to give them 3 order forms. So that they can work on some outside orders as well. But again, you've also got the online option for them, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Then underneath files in this new consultant group, there are 5 documents that you want to print off to put into those party packets. And this post that this video is on listed what they are. The first one is, it says personally invite. Kind of the glare is weird there, but it's got 40 lines on it. Okay, it's got a place for her to write 40 people. And once I get this, and I'm going to sit down with her and go through it with her. Oh, by the way, one more quick note: on the back is a place to write the party date. So be sure that you do that for her or him, so they have that written down. So I'm going to visit with them about this page first. And what I'm going to say is, you want to think outside the box. You want to invite obviously your closest friends, but you also want to invite coworkers, past coworkers, neighbors. Neighbors are great because we're all nosy and want to see the inside of your house. True story. And it's a great safety to know your neighbors. And a Tupperware party is a non-threatening way to know neighbors. And be sure you suggest that to your hosts, because I can't tell you over the years how many times somebody who didn't know her neighbor very well or his did come to the Tupperware party. So it does make a difference when you say those suggestions. So the idea is, though, besides the fact that there's different categories, is there's 40 lines on here. And what you want to do is you want to talk to 40 people about your party, because then 20 will say yes and 10 will come. So I want you to see how I've written that in the top corner there. And I wrote that as I was talking to her. 40, 20, 10. Only about a fourth of who this host talks to or who you talk to about your grand opening is going to show up. Okay. When I say invite them and you want to tell your host this, that means talk to them. That either means text them or private message them or have a conversation individually, conversation back and forth. Even in this day and age of technology, people want to know that I care about them and I want them at my Tupperware party. They're not just one of 150 people I clicked on. We'll talk about the Facebook thing in a minute, but it's really important that she or he know that they need to talk to 30 to 40 people if they want to get them there. And then you need to let them know that they want to tell them about the food and the fun. I just write that at the top, food and fun, as I'm talking to them. Sometimes I do these over the phone and I can't write that, but if I'm right there, I'm going to write so they remember. One of the lines I use is, it's not your mama's Tupperware party anymore. And be sure that you say that to your host so she can say that to their friends, because it is not Mama's Tupperware party anymore, and it's certainly not Grandma's Tupperware party anymore, and we want them to know that. Okay, now then I say to her, now if you're like me or him, again, I can't remember everything I'm telling that my friends are telling me, so included in the packet too of the other sheets are a yes and a no page. Okay, those were two of the other things under files that you want to print off. If they're pretty sure they can come, she puts them on the yes page. If they know they can't come, she puts them on the no page, and the no page also includes her out-of-town friends and family. Because what we're going to do is we are going to set up, and I recommend that you set up this Facebook event, okay, for this party. We want to connect a Facebook event to as many parties as we can. It serves as a reminder. We used to mail out, these little flyers are mailable, and for years we mailed these as a reminder. Now we just use the Facebook event. If she's not on Facebook or he's not on Facebook, then okay, but almost everybody will let you set up a Facebook event. You're going to set the event up, and they're going to make them a co-host, and then they're going to add the people. And here's what I tell them about the Facebook event. First of all, when you're calling and talking to your friends, you want to tell them, I'm adding you to this event. Be sure that they look for the notification. They're not going to notice it on their own. So those 30 to 40, they're going to tell them, come to my party, check out the event. Then I tell them, but if you want to go ahead and click on another 100 after the 40, it's okay. Because you may not get 140 calls or texted, but you know, once in a while, one of those extra people does happen to see it, does happen to walk in the door of the party, or place an order, okay? So it's okay to encourage our hosts to go ahead and click on more than the 40, but we want them to personally be contacting those 30 to 40 people, okay? Now, if you don't know how to set up a Facebook event, there is another video in this new consultant training that walks you through how to set up a Facebook event. So that is there, and you can go check it out, and it's fairly simple. We do encourage the consultant to set the event up, not the host, and make her the co-host, just because of some of the way the algorithms of Facebook work. Okay. The other thing that you can tell your host that you can do on Facebook is you can create a link to her party so that people that live too far away can order online, and even her friends that live local can order online. But it's important to know that the shipping is a little higher online. What you want to tell her is $5. So if her friends live local, it's also okay for them to look online and then let you or her know what they want, and they can save $5 shipping. If they live out of town, they're going to pay that anyway. So I do let them know that. That link also has something to do with how they can order ahead of time. If the flyer's closing, then they really want to get a special that's ordered ahead of time. So that also the link is how they do that, basically. I also have a video on this Facebook group on how to set up that Tupper. We call it Tupper Connect link. So find that video as well. Okay, so we're going to talk to her about over-inviting, personally inviting, verbally inviting, and then getting everybody on that Facebook event. The second thing we're going to do is set a goal with her. And our average party in the U.S., and when we talk about setting the goal, that's when we pull out this tic-tac-toe page, okay? And that is your fourth piece of paper that you're going to print for her, okay? And our average party in the U.S., and I already wrote this on here so you could see it, but I would do this as I was talking. I would say to her something like, oh, what'd you see at the party tonight that you'd really like to earn? Or maybe this is a first-time host. She's dated a party to help you get started, and she hasn't seen it in forever. Just encourage her to take one of those catalogs and start making a wish list. But I'll tell you that when you have a $600 party, and two of your friends schedule a party, you will get $90, and that's our Kansas average. Kansas, Oklahoma, Midwest. You may be in another state, but it's okay. Use that as the average. The nationwide average is $500, so let's bump that average up just a little bit and say our team average, that's what we'll say. My party average is $750. So it is okay for you to say our team party average is $600. And when you have a $600 party and 2 datings, you're going to get $90 in free Tupperware, 2 items at 50% off, and a free gift on page 7 of the catalog. And I just kind of write that down the edge as I'm talking to her. Okay, is that crazy? Right there. Then I let her know, or again, him. I know we have guy hosts too, and I'm sorry about that. There are 2 ways she can spend her host credits. First, there are special sets in the flyer and in the large catalog. There's some special sets set aside just for hosts, and there's always one in each. Or you can just spend your credits on retail Tupperware, any retail Tupperware in the catalog. The only thing we can't spend the credits on is the items that are on sale in the sale flyer. That's important to tell your host. The only exception to that is this tic-tac-toe game, because the tic-tac-toe is something I as the consultant do, or you as the consultant do, not Tupperware. And let your host know that. And here's how it works. You can have any item of your choice. when you get one tic-tac-toe, any item of your choice, sale or regular, at 10% off. If you get 2 tic-tac-toes, you get it at 15% off. If you get 3 tic-tac-toes, you get it at 25% off. And here's exactly how I go through the square with the game with her. In fact, don't forget to tell her it's a 3 in a row, just like when we were kids. If you have $150 in paid orders before I get there, either online or the old-fashioned way, you get the first square or a combination of both. Top middle square is a freebie just for having the party. There's your party date. I'll write it on there. What that actually says is I held my party on the date originally scheduled. They can read. I just say it's a freebie just for having your party. Always keep a party planning positive. Always keep everything positive with your Tupperware parties. Next one, I want you to talk to 40 people, but when you talk to 30, you get this square. Far left one, when at least 10 people show up, and if it says on here, if they bring a friend, they get a gift. And so that helps reminder of that. Middle square, if you want to hear a little bit about how selling Tupperware works, or if you want to attend one of my directors' meetings in Wichita or her Facebook events online, they're only 15 minutes long and online. And in Wichita, we have awesome meetings at our Tupperware training studio, depending on where you live, or you can just do a quick 15-minute phone call with my director. Any of those things, and you get the middle square. Even if you don't sign up, it's just for hearing the information. When you hit that average $600 party, you get that square. When at least 5 of the people at your party I didn't meet tonight at your party, or I didn't meet at your party. Or if you're a new consultant and you're holding your grand opening, when at least 5 of the people are from 5 different areas of your life, because we want to keep those groups open. When at least one person's ready to date a party before I get there, and the last thing says, and I'll remind you of this, or you, the consultant, will remind them of this, is when the night before or 2 nights before, you want to give everybody a call and say to them, don't forget to bring your broken Tupperware when you come to my party tomorrow. That does 2 things. First of all, it reminds them to bring their broken Tupperware, which is lifetime warranted. And then it also reminds them of the party. And what I have my host do, and it says it right there on there, night before, text me how many are coming after you're done making those reminder calls. Just for telling me how many, you get the square. When that many really show up, and that's what it says at the bottom, your host gets a bonus gift. And we even give her a grace of 2 people in case somebody's kid gets sick overnight. Overnight. The last thing is the shopping list. And as a brand new consultant, I'm trying to find it here, guys. I'm sorry, it's in my pile. You have 2 choices with your host for her shopping list. This is the Simply Salsa recipe, and you would have received in the mail from me a container of the salsa, as well as a recipe for how to make, not the salsa, container of the seasoning, as well as directions for how to make the seasoning. If you want to use that, then you use this Simply Salsa recipe. If you would rather not mess with making the seasoning, then there's another super easy salsa recipe that you have the host buy all the ingredients for. If you use the Simply Salsa, she just buys a can of tomatoes, an onion, a lime, and a bag of chips. If you use the other and you bring a seasoning to season it, or this one is a can of tomatoes, a can of Rotel, an onion, a lime, some cilantro, some garlic salt, maybe a little pepper, and a bag of chips. So she just buys a few more ingredients. But you need to provide her list, her shopping list. As you move ahead and you're going to be doing maybe more recipes, maybe, I don't recommend really more than 2 at any party, but do something in a microwave system and the salsa, or something in a microwave system and something in your Power Chef. Those are the 2 things you want to focus on. But whatever recipes you're doing, you need to provide her the shopping list and let her know that is the snack for the party. You're going to make it when you get there. She doesn't have to do anything else because the party is you making those snacks. Now, at the very beginning, when you're just doing salsa, if she wants to make a pan of brownies or something before you get there, of course, that's fine. And they can make more food, but I really encourage them to try and keep it simple. So that's a very fast example of how to do a party planning. It would also benefit you a lot to do a 3-way phone call with either myself or your manager to party plan your very first party. Let us help you with it on a 3-way call. But especially if we have a hard time getting connected, I love having this video for you to watch for training. Watch it again if you need to. Watch it a couple times before you go over your first packet with your host. A successful party always includes a successful party planning. Thanks a lot. Let me know what questions you have, and go check out the video on how to set up the Facebook event and how to do the Tupper Connect.